What are the best lens tint colours? What glasses last forever? And what glasses am I wearing? In today's video, I'm going to be answering all of those questions and more. So hi, I'm Robert, Style and Vision Consultant at the Spectacle Factory, here in Hong Kong, on top secret business, but you're going to be finding out about that very, very soon. I'm loving my time here, but it gave me an opportunity to sit down with you here in this beautiful garden, right in the centre of Hong Kong, which is quite a peculiar city with this combination of the sprawling metropolis of urban life combined with nature. Really nice environment to be in. But whilst I'm here in Hong Kong, I thought I'd answer some of your questions. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first question, enjoying the G1? Well, okay, the cat's out of the bag. This is the G1 smart glass from Even Realities, the world's first potentially viable smart glasses. So smart glasses that theoretically could replace your everyday frames. Now, as to whether they've achieved that, you're going to have to stay tuned because I have an upcoming video exploring that entire topic, and that is actually why I'm here in Hong Kong. So I'm not going to elaborate on that answer quite yet, except to say, yes, I am enjoying the G1. Next question, good question. Has SLR transitions Gen S caught up to Zeiss PhotoFusion? My impression of most photochromic lenses on the market right now is that they're all pretty good. And I think as long as you don't have unrealistic expectations, then you probably won't be disappointed by the performance of any of them. That said, Zeiss PhotoFusion is just so insanely quick. I'd be surprised if Gen S is quite as quick in real world testing, but I am going to be testing that very soon. I've actually meant to film that video like 1, 2, almost 3 months ago now. The trouble is getting samples of the product from transitions. You might be surprised to hear this, but actually very few brands out there are interested in contributing to what I do. And that's because there are a lot of vested interests in our industry and a lot of people who profit from a lack of education to the end consumer. And it can be really frustrating, really disheartening actually, that I feel like I'm often fighting against the whole industry just to bring the information that I do to you guys. But having said that, I have got most of the samples prepared now. I want to film a video where I have literally every colour available. Not just Zeiss, not just SLR, but also Hoyer's Photochromic as well as the IoT Photochromic, which we've been using a lot on custom orders, because that one is completely configurable. You can add any tint you can imagine. So I am really looking forward to filming that video and helping you to choose the right photochromic lens for you. And if you're watching this and you're interested in that subject, just make sure you're subscribed. What are the best ophthalmic lens options for a photographer for someone who has presbyopia? Okay, so in my opinion, there are two really good options for you. The first one is probably the answer that you expect from me, which is Zeiss Smart Life lenses. They optimized their progressive lens design for digital devices and the way that we tend to hold them and interact with them at specific distances. Obviously, when you're using a viewfinder, that's when it can be tricky because you're holding that in a very specific location relative to your eye. But the Smart Life lens design, in my experience, has worked really well for photographers and is available in glass. And most of my photography clients, clients who are photographers, they really appreciate the quality and the clarity of a real glass lens. After all, your camera will have a glass lens naturally, and glass just gives the best, most pristine optics. That would be my number one recommendation, but a very close second and arguably a better option is actually the Leica progressive lenses, because they are specifically designed for photographers. They have a progressive lens design where they actually based it all around photography. Now, it still works for everyday life. It's a good lens design all around, but it's particularly good for photographers. So those would be the two best progressive lens options for you. And by the way, we can make either one of them for you. So if you're interested, just drop me an email, rob@thespectaclefactory.com. Next, what do you think of Morel frames? Well, we actually are a stockist of Morel. Well, I say that, we used to be a stockist. We still have an account with them, so we still occasionally do business with Morel. And they're obviously a very historic French manufacturing company. Their Lighttech series, I think, is very meh, to be honest. I think if you have access to any of, well, obviously Reykjavik Eyes, but also Makita, Limburg, IC Berlin, and there are more that I'm not thinking of right now, but basically there are loads of options that are better than Morel Lighttech. I guess what's great about Lighttech is that it is quite affordable. It's probably like half the price of those brands that I mentioned. But if you're going for good value lightweight frames, I would always recommend Modo personally. I think that's the best value titanium brand out there today. So I would go for those over Morel. Robert, is it wise to purchase an excellent condition frameless lenses and have custom lenses made? I'm going to assume you mean an excellent condition used rimless frame. It's a tricky one because the problem with rimless frames is the way that they assemble and the way that they mount. They pretty much all, without exception, require thin pins that go through the lens, and just through normal wear and tear. You know, every time you take glasses off, you can put a little bit of pressure just here, and that pressure translates through to the front of the frame where it meets the lens, and those pins take all the wear and tear, and you just don't know what's happened in the lifespan of a rimless frame. I'm all for reusing frames, and a lot of my clients do reuse rimless, but I wouldn't buy a used rimless frame for that reason. Polarizing a lens that's been surfaced for you is so expensive. Any insights as to why? And do you reckon it's always worth it? So, I don't know where you're shopping, but polarized lenses shouldn't really cost that much more than a tinted lens. I'm surprised to hear that really, because polarization is not necessarily a new technology. There can be variations in the price based on quality, so what the cheaper manufacturers do is they actually laminate the polarized layer onto the front of the lens. And the problem with that is that eventually it will delaminate and eventually it's going to fail. So the best quality manufacturers actually have the polarized layer sandwiched somewhere in the middle of the lens, stops it from delaminating, you don't get any issues. Anyway, that's a little known fact that I just thought I'd share with you. Is it worth it? Well, I actually rarely nowadays, very rarely wear polarized lenses. When I first came into the industry, all the education was about polarization, push polarized glasses. Polarized sunglasses are always better. And through experience and through real world testing, I've found that that is definitely not the case. Polarized lenses are very good in certain specific situations. Those being when you're around water and when you have an icy road with reflections coming off it, or sometimes a wet road as well. But at the same time, although polarization makes your vision more comfortable in those situations and it reduces the glare, does it actually make you see better? Well, actually I would argue that sometimes if you're driving, you really want to be able to recognize ice and water on the road very quickly. You don't want a lens that obscures it. And actually we use the glare from those things to recognize where it is. So most of the time, I just don't wear polarized lenses. Also, they can interfere with some digital devices. Actually, this Oppo phone that I got this year is amazing because it actually has a display specifically designed for polarized sunglasses. So that is awesome. I would recommend Oppo if you're in the market for a new phone. I've been quite impressed with this, what is it called? The N3 Find Flip, I think it's called. What options are available for Zeiss crown glass lenses and how good are they? I was shown samples for transition lenses, which took minutes to even reach maybe 20%, which had West Germany in the corner. Are mineral glass lenses really stuck in the 1980s? Yes. So Zeiss Umbramatic, kind of like the OG. And actually some people like that really slow transition speed. They like the fact that it takes a while to tint, like it's a very gradual process and it takes a long time to go clear again. We're talking like 10 minutes. A small subsection of people actually enjoy that. For most people, that's not quick enough for them, and that's where other brands, you know, like PhotoFusion, Transitions, Hoya Sensity, have innovated over the years to try and improve that reaction time. So yes, glass photochromic technology is stuck in the past, but you shouldn't really rely on photochromic lenses in replacement for sunglasses anyway. Investing in a good pair of sunglasses is one of the best things you can do, and you can get glass lenses with a full sunglass tint. So you can get Zeiss lenses with either a 20%, 25%, or I want to say 80% brown tint. Those are the three options. And to be fair, like a 20% brown tint is really nice for wearing all day, and an 80% brown tint is really nice in the sun. So if you get one of each of those options, I think you're going to be much happier than going with the Zeiss Umbramatic technology. Best tint for daily wear, all conditions. There is no one best. I'm sorry, it's like asking, what is the best car? The best car depends on your needs and your taste. And that is exactly the same with the best lens tint. It's going to come down to your needs and your tastes. Green tints are the most popular, I would say, for everyday tints for a reason, because they are interesting, like they add a bit of color to your glasses. They're good contrast, but also neutral color perception. So maybe that is the most versatile. My favorite tint is the Sweet Violet, that 50% purple. That is a beautiful tint to wear, but you couldn't wear it every day. And it's not suitable for nighttime either. Same with that amber tint that I showcased in Paris recently. That is a really, really good versatile tint, but probably not every single day. Yeah, I'd probably say green on balance for most people is most likely to be the one that you'll find best for everyday life. Are there unlimited types of tints? Should tints go along with iframe color? So yes, there are unlimited types of tints. Any color you can imagine, any level of tint you can imagine, we can create it for you, and that's actually what we do every day. We make custom glasses for people all over the world, and I could show you the weird and, well, I do showcase for you the weird and wonderful things that people ask for. And that's really fun, creating something that's one of a kind. So yes, there is no limit on what you can do with a tint. And should the tints go along with iframe color? I don't know if you mean the skin around your eyes or your eye color. I personally have never really based it on eye color, but I have based it on skin tone. And generally, like, darker skin tones tend to work better with certain colors like blue and purple, and paler skin tones like mine tend to be more versatile in terms of what they can wear. What are your personal best gradient tint lens combinations? Well, Adaptive Sun in brown is like my go-to sunglass lens. The RLM amber tint I think is one of the most beautiful, but it's not one of my personal favorites. Even after all the comments and compliments that I got, it's probably my most complimented ever pair. And I did really enjoy the blue and ruby tint that I had in my Barton Prairie rimless glasses, which I've now got rid of because I think Barton Prairie is an awful company since the takeover by LVMH, so I don't even want to touch their glasses anymore. Robert, do you think the G1 will be available from Even Realities in progressive? Seem quite advanced, and it would be nice to add them to a regular eyewear rotation. Yeah, they are already available with progressive lenses, just not through their direct website. You need to order them through a retailer like us because we have to supply certain measurements to Even Realities for them to be able to make their ultra fit lenses. That's also true for the single vision. So you can order basic single vision lenses through their portal, but if you actually want really a high level of vision, akin to what you would get with Zeiss Smart Life lenses, for example, you need to order through an optician, and we would love to be that optician for you. We already make glasses for people all over the world, so we're very used to serving people remotely. I have my own unique process for working out all the measurements that goes into a really advanced pair of glasses remotely. I can do all that on my end for you. So yeah, if you want a pair, just write to me, get in touch. Drop me an email and I'd love to make it happen. I can make sure you're one of the first to get a pair. Okay, and last question. Which frames would be recommended that can be worn for life? In other words, to save some money long term, what frames would work from durability and aesthetic standpoint? Definitely Reykjavik eyes, 100%. I mean, I don't think any brand comes close in terms of the durability. I've had Reykjavik eyes frames 7, 8 years that are still like new. And I have clients who've had them 10 years easily and they've not failed. I've had my uncle and actually a few other customers now driven over them in their car. I guess because they're so lightweight, maybe they forget that they've not got them on, they leave them on the roof of the car and it falls off and they run over them. And they survive that. So I mean, if they're gonna survive that, you're not gonna break a pair. They're just so reliable, but also so comfortable, like the most comfortable glasses you can even imagine. That's what I mean, you can't even feel that you're wearing them. And the styling is minimalistic, but kind of cool in a Scandinavian way. And I think that Scandinavian style, it never really goes in and out of trend. So I think from a stylistic perspective as well, if you choose certain models like the thin titanium, maybe not the thicker titanium, then you should get many years, maybe decades of happy usage out of them and not ever feel like they're out of fashion. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too noisy. I'm in this beautiful secluded garden, but like I said, the metropolis is just next door. So we have all of this traffic coming past, and I hope that didn't ruin the audio for you guys. But assuming that the audio is okay, it's been great. Thank you for all of your questions. Thank you for all of your support. It's you guys ultimately that have brought me here to Hong Kong, that enable me to see the world and hopefully experience the world with you. I love sharing what I see with you guys. So if you have found this video interesting or helpful, make sure to give us a like and subscribe for more of the best eyewear content on the internet. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye-bye.